Check out those birds singing. And look at the blooms on our apricot tree. Is spring in the air or what? This is great. You all remember this box that had that radio in it that was completely dismantled? It was sent to me by a fellow named Ed Morris, and he said that he didn't think he would be able to put it back together. Well, I have decided that I want to start working on the television that I bought, that vintage 1952 TV, the RCA, and I'm going to let my next to youngest grandson, Ethan, tear this box open and take out all the pieces, and he's the one that's going to go ahead under my tutelage, hopefully, and put this radio back together. And I want everybody to meet Ethan. Ethan is kind of like the mad professor. He's how old are you, Ethan?
14.
He's 14. Now, Ethan's kind of like the mad professor. He, you know, if his hair gets kind of frizzy and it sticks out like Einstein, doesn't bother him, does it? No, don't care at all, does it? You got any girlfriends? You do? Your girlfriend doesn't mind either? No, okay. Ethan's very sharp too. You're very good in school, aren't you?
Yes.
Excellent. He's very smart. Very smart. So he plays the flute, and he's an excellent flute player. You're like the #1 flute player too, right?
I'm fourth chair.
Fourth chair. Okay, so that means there's 3 other guys ahead of you?
Well, they're girls.
Oh, they're girls. Smart move, boy. Don't get, if you get ahead of them, they won't look at you too cool. Anyway, Ethan is going to take this box apart. He's going to just find out what's in there, and he's going to spread it around the table, and then we're going to come back out and have a look at it. Oh, Ethan's making some progress here, and there's the cabinet, and we'll unwrap that in a few seconds, and he's opening up the second box he found inside, and these items will have to be unwrapped. And old Ed even included a schematic, a big large schematic. Now, is that cool or is that cool? That's excellent. That is excellent. I don't think Ethan's going to have any trouble putting this together. You think you can master this thing? After I teach you what this is all about, you think you'll be able to sit down? I mean, I've already taught you how to solder, right?
Yes.
Yep, so he's a good solderer. All right, pretty soon the next trip out, we'll see what's underneath all this bubble wrap. And everything is unwrapped. We have here this is a tube shield, believe it or not. It goes in the center on the rear of the radio. It goes like that over that tube right there. That one right there that fits in that socket. And there it is, Philco 3812. And we have the dial scale, which is brand new, by the way. Ed told me he got a new one for it. So this is going to be a very nice radio if we can get it back together. And he also told me that he thought he burned out the speaker coil. So I don't know. We're going to find out. The field coil. And let me see. We got the grill. I mean the speaker cloth and the support for it, and the cabinet. Not too shabby. Goes like that, I guess. Not too bad. Alright, and here's the chassis. Now, the way I see it, Ethan, smart guy like you are, maybe 30-45 minute job altogether. What do you think? You think you can handle that?
No.
No. Okay, what this is going to be is a long, prolonged, drawn-out repair and restoration job, because Ethan does go to school, and he can't come over here every weekend to work on this thing. So we'll just dribble it along from time to time. You'll see a video pop up out of nowhere, and there it'll be. And they'll say, oh, he's up to part 2, or he's up to part 3. And maybe we can make some progress on this. I have to teach him a little bit about how electronics works, how a tube works, and how to follow a schematic, things of that nature. Once I get that done, he'll be pretty much on his own. I'll just be able to give him any radio in the entire universe. After that, you'll be able to put it all together, right? Fix them all, maybe. By the way, before we put this stuff back in the box and wrap these things back up, we're going to wrap some of it back up. I want everybody to notice how Ed Morris packaged this radio for shipping. He wrapped each item individually, did an excellent job on it, He put some items in a second box that were the delicate type stuff inside the initial larger box. He wrapped everything. Very nice job. You know, this is, he used a lot of good packing material. This is made little styrofoam walls and everything. Well worth the time and effort to do this. What you ship will get there in one piece. Oh, Ethan is he's using Nostalgia Air to mark his tube numbers on his schematic, and he's already figured out, having never seen a schematic before, never used a schematic before, he's already figured out which side of the tube filament is which, because in each of the tubes, one side of the tube filament or the heater is grounded. So he's already figured out, just by looking, which one of those tubes pins would be the ground side, just by tracing out. He knows the numbers from here, but then he traced it out in the on the schematic and in the chassis itself, and determined which is which. Pretty slick. And already he's traced out some of the lines and found out that he has resistors and capacitors, and he's already figured out that in order to get that 40,000 ohm resistor, Ed had used two resistors, a 15K and a 25K in there in series. So he's doing real good. Well, it's the next day, Sunday, and Ethan will have to go back home later on this afternoon, but he's still hard at this radio, and as you can see, he's checked all the wiring in this radio all the way through, and you found everything good so far, right? Okay, well now we're down here at the power transformer and the rectifier tube and the two filter capacitors and field coil that'll connect it across them. He's now checking those out. You're going to find out what it is, aren't you? You betcha. Okay, folks, we'll continue this at a later date and show progress. It won't be every single week. We won't have a video up every single week, but whenever he can get over here and get to working on it. So this will probably be a long project, but when it's over, I think he'll be successful. And here comes my daughter after her son, Ethan, the technician. Ethan, the all-powerful technician.
Is that what he is?
That's what he is. He did a fantastic job of what you know on that radio. He's almost got it working in 1.5 days. Never saw one before, never saw a schematic in his life. Unbelievable.